Your trusted connectivity partner, Telkom Business, proudly brings you the Entrepreneurial SME Show.
Hello and welcome to the Entrepreneurial SME. I am Rems Mabote. It appears there is a huge market for selling all sorts of sauces like hot sauce, barbecue sauce and salsa. But with a variety of brands that are currently flooding the retail space, how can one turn it into a thriving business? Joining me tonight is founder of Colleen's Handmade Sauces, Colleen Flowers. Here's a short snippet of how she built her brand, one sauce at a time.
My name is Colleen Flowers and I'm the founder of Colleen's Handmade Sauces. We focus on organic produce and the focus of the sauces is that it's preservative free, it's made of local organic ingredients that we source only from local organic farmers. And we focus a lot on chili sauces and its infusions with herbs. Currently I have 14 flavors, as well as vegan mayo infusions. So basically I was my own consumer. I couldn't find what I was looking for on supermarket shelves, and I was concerned about what I put in my body, and besides that I'm a chili addict. And I was working in corporate at a business school, and I just decided to go, play around in the kitchen, and I started making my first sauce. And it was in a honey jar on my desk, and my colleagues tasted it, and next thing they said, please can we buy some from you? And I said, well, I don't have time for this, and they insisted, and I did my first 12 bottles. It sold in 5 minutes, and then the rest was history. So I feel one of the biggest challenges for me at the moment is scaling, to move from small business into big business. And when you're scaling, you need a lot of cash flow and also getting into retail stores, especially the bigger chains. And then the other issue is climate change. In the next 5 years, I see the product abroad, I see it in many retail stores, and especially our chocolate range, because it's quite a fast-moving product. I see it in quite a few retail stores very soon.
Colleen, beautiful business. Good evening and thank you for coming in.
Good evening, Rams, and thank you so much for having me.
Why not a florist business based on your surname? Don't answer me.
I do like flowers, but I don't think I'm the best at doing floral arrangements.
Your business sounds like one of those Cinderella dreams where something happens and before you know it, it's a good business, right? You are doing it for yourself. Colleagues like it, and you start a business and it looks like it's doing well. But where do you think the secret was?
I think the secret was in my love for cooking, and I cooked from a very young age. Yeah. I started cooking when I was 12 years old. And I think that just carried down from my grandmother and my mother and just, family gatherings. Yeah. And my happy place is having people in my house and cooking for them. And I think that passion for cooking and flavors and my diverse background and cultures, it's sort of just my taste buds. I think it's got a lot to do with the taste buds.
But it didn't start here, Colleen. You're not a stranger to business. You traded in some other business before.
Yes.
Why branch out to sauces? I mean, other than the fact that at first you were responding to your own needs.
Yes, no. I promise you it happened all by accident. It wasn't an intentional thing. I was working at a business school at the time, had a really large portfolio, very, very busy, working 14-hour days, like it is in corporate today. And it was for my own needs, and it was not intentional at all. There was a young lady in our office, and I always say, if it wasn't for Tato, I don't think I'd have this business today. She was so persistent. She kept saying, saying, come on, Mama, make us sauce. Come on,
Yes.
I'll buy my family once. And that's sort of how it happened.
Making sauces for yourself and a few colleagues was never going to make you successful.
No.
How then did you get it to market to bigger buyers?
Well, I actually got a promotion at work, and I thought to myself, wow, I'm not sure I'm going to cope. This is crazy. You know, I'm really working so hard. And I'm not sure, something in my head just clicked and said, you know what? Before you get too old, because I was quite an age when I started the business, I said, you know, before you get too old, or at least before you reach the age of 60,
Yeah.
go and try this out and see what happens. And I literally resigned, and as I was driving home my last day at the office, I thought to myself, what have I done? Have you lost your mind? But I think what was important was to make sure that I was debt-free, to make sure that I had some kind of other passive income in order to follow the dream
Yeah.
of entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Look, for my sins, you would imagine I go to a lot of business
of
and,
course, yes.
conferences and events and stuff like that. I have seen one sauce too many
Yes.
on display tables.
Sure. Yeah.
Clearly, there is potential for this business in the market, right? But how does one differentiate themselves from everyone else who's on the
Yes.
desk?
So when I started out, I basically had two flavors, like a hot and a mild chili sauce, and that you'd find at many expos
Yeah.
and on the shelves. And as the business went along, I realized there's a lot of competition out there. So how I differentiate myself is that I partner with local organic farmers. And the passion and the care that I put into the product. But then again, there's lots of other sauce makers
Yes.
that does that
That
as
do
well.
the same, yeah.
Yes, yes. And then I looked, I thought a bit deeper about how I could stand out in the market. And then I realized that there's a huge keto banting sugar-free movement and plant-based movement, not only in South Africa, but abroad as well. And that is how I found that niche in that market. And I thought that is the market I want to be in.
Except niche markets always become expensive.
Yes.
Does it not make it difficult for you to sell?
Not really. That's the surprising part about everything. People that care about what they put into their bodies, and believe it or not, but it's a growing trend. People, yes, obviously there's the lower end of the market, but the middle class to higher end of the market, they really care about what they put. You know, they don't want to put chemicals and preservatives, and they're also looking for convenience. So my range of sauces, the Colleen's range,
Yeah.
it caters for a wide variety of the market. So it's evolved from not only 2 little hot sauces, it's evolved from herb infusions, and it's also there to make your life easier. So Rams comes home from work, and he needs to cook a nice dish for himself. So you can do meal prep using the sauces, and you take it from there, your meat or whatever you're having, stick it in the air fryer, steam some veggies, and you sort it. So the clients that I service, the majority of them are in the sugar-free space. They're in the health and wellness space, and taking care of
My
what
tongue is getting wet.
Yeah.
Let's take a break.
Yes.
We'll be back very shortly. Please don't touch that dial.